Hello, everybody. Hope all of you guys are doing well. I'm doing well, just so you know. Thank you so much for tuning in today. Today, we have such an interesting guest. So I'm going to let him introduce himself, and then we can get started on this interview.
So, hello everybody, and Raheen. My name is Filip Kachnic, and I would like to present myself just shortly and briefly. I'm now based in Prague, Czech Republic, and I'm invested in education and EdTech, making people understand themselves better, in general said, and making the world a better place. And I hope in this interview we will break it down into more details. So this is what I'm doing. And I'm a PhD candidate at Charles University. I've been living in 3-4 countries just within Europe, not abroad yet. And actually, my life is consisted of some defining moments which kind of shaped my engagement with education. And I was for 7 years working as substitute teacher in Sweden. I was teaching in Denmark, in Slovakia, and I was also helping poor children in Vietnam and Cambodia. I visited 2014 Afghanistan, which is also my hard thing, not hard, but hard thing. And For example, with my wife, we have biked 600 kilometers from Vietnam to Cambodia in 2016, I think it was. And there was an awareness event for an NGO called Haga International. And basically, the organization is helping trafficked women and girls and boys. And we biked this destination just to raise some funds for the organization specifically. So but during the journey happened really defining moments for me, when you come through villages who have never met white people like me and my wife. The whole village just gathered when we had our coffee break, and they were just watching us. And so there were really amazing things happening. And I also, I think I will not forget um, when we visited an orphanage in Vietnam. And this was the biggest orphanage I have ever been into. It had around 300 to 500 children. And looking at those girls and boys, and maybe maybe not, but they are so hungry for engagement with adults that when I stepped through the gate into the orphanage compound, they just ran to us, and they just started to cling on us, and started to play. And it was fun, but at the same time sad, afterwards, because I was thinking, oh my God, there is such a gap, or such a need they have to meet normal adult folks, who just care. That that they, it was not possible to push them away. They wanted to be everywhere with us. And that made me really think why the world happened to be like this, right? And I read also about you, Raheen, that you are invested into spreading global peace, and the SDGs and everything. And I think that is our common platform, me and you. And I'm really encouraged. I was speaking to my wife the last days just about you, because I met many teenagers because of what I'm doing, but I have not met many teenagers mm, who know their talents and skills in a way that they reach out to the people without fear. So, and I think you are really an example in this for many, many. Um, and um, and I would like to say that I'm really encouraged that what you are doing, you are really breaking the myths, right? Because maybe one day we could write a book together about the myths about teenagers and how they are not true. But this is also one of my mm, dreams or goals, to address those myths and make people understand how we are. So that is there anything what I said what was interesting for you?
Well, yes, there's many things, but I feel like we should start from the beginning.
Mhm.
How was your own educational experience as like a child and then a teenager in high school?
Yeah. And while reading about you, I also started to reflect about that. And I was raised up in a city nobody ever has heard about, called Banska Bystrica in Slovakia, which is Central Europe. And um, it has to do with the regime which was there in that country. So I just can say plainly, I was born 1980 in Czechoslovakia at that time, and in the 1993 the country split into two countries. So I was honestly taught not to think but just to follow, right? So when the teachers thought that, well, this is the world how we perceive it and you should perceive it also like that, uh, then actually no learning happened at that time. I was very happy and lucky because of my parents that they chose the best education I could have, and they actually paid for the first me attending the first private school in Slovakia, a middle school. And there they tried really to make us to discover the world on our own and to make up our minds, ourselves. And they also welcomed critical thinking. So I'm also a very straightforward person. So imagine how I was straightforward when I was a teenager, you know, even more. And so I asked many questions, and I was known for it. And some teachers liked it, and some not, of course. And but those who liked it helped me also to like their subject. So that is why I have a good approach or relationship to languages. So I started to learn German, and I moved to Sweden. I learned Swedish, of course English, and the world is wide open. So I became very confident that I can learn languages because of that very good attitude of those teachers. So these are some um, experiences I had. But at the same time, there were some years when I was bullied, and now after the years, I realized when I studied this what bullying is, that I was actually bullied, and I didn't know about it. But I try to reflect upon that and make the schools better right now as I can. But I totally understand, and I notice when students or children are bullied right now.
Yeah, they are. And I feel like when sometimes you're like, okay, they're just joking, they're just joking. And then I
Mm-hmm.
feel like when they just step it up a little, it's just, I think it's the lack of awareness. Now we are really working on the awareness of
Mm-hmm.
bullying, and it's affecting people, it's affecting children and their mental health. But it's amazing to see how our educational experiences are very, very similar, because I went to the best private school in the country. I mean, I
Mm-hmm.
used to,
Mm-hmm.
and I used to ask a lot of questions. Yeah, like probably just one teacher liked it. All
Yeah.
the other, they did not like it, is all I'm going to say. And
Yeah.
I feel like the teacher, the way that they teach and the way that they perceive your questions and your opinions and your thoughts about a certain topic or about a certain subject, I feel like really shapes of how you think of it in the future.
Yes.
Like, you know, I used to hate math, like actually hate math. I'd be like,
Same here.
that is what I'm never gonna do. When I came into sixth grade, my teacher changed, and I'm like, oh my God, math is amazing. And I still am a huge math fan. I love algebra. I'm one of those weird people on earth, like, you know, those aliens that like algebra. I'm one of those.
Yes.
Um,
Wow.
and you talk about language, so you do know how to speak Slovak, right?
Yes. Yes.
Slovak was actually, I have 3 languages up my sleeve. I speak fluent English, Urdu, and Punjabi. I speak 3 of these. And Slovak is besides these 3, because all of these 3 are like my languages since I was like a baby, is Slovak actually. But all I know is swear words. So it doesn't
Okay.
it doesn't really make a difference because,
Wow.
you know, again, I get angry at somebody who, what are the odds somebody knows Slovak? It's good I know that you know Slovak. So,
Yeah. Okay.
um, yeah,
Very
I better
interesting
watch
that
out.
we have so much common. And can I also ask you, I met many students or teenagers, and they have no idea how is it to attend a school in your country, and how is it, with religion, for example. Um, can you say something about what would you say to teenagers here in Europe about that?
Well, students here are dreaming to go to Europe. And I feel like sometimes, you know, it's amazing. I believe it's amazing to have exposure. So Pakistan, basically, it's been 75 years since it has been there.
Yeah.
Our main religion is Islam, but we have
Mhm.
all sorts of, I mean, I have Hindu Pakistani friends, I've got Christian Pakistani friends as well. So we have a lot of, you know, religious variety, I would say. But
Mhm.
the main religion that's followed by the most is Islam, actually.
Mhm. Mhm.
And we are known for multiple things, but we're known for our export in footballs. For I think the past 2 or 3 FIFAs, it was Pakistani footballs for sure. That is what I know.
Okay.
And we are actually testing out our 2022 FIFA balls right in Salco. I had an opportunity to go there like a month ago.
Mhm.
And that city is known in all of the world for its football, because
Mhm.
if it's good enough for Ronaldo, it's probably good enough for you guys too. So,
Mhm. Mhm.
um, yeah, and we have a lot of interesting things going on. We have a lot of, and I feel like to some countries, our, you know, taste is similar, maybe in Europe, but we like stuff spicy. Um, and yeah, that's about it. There's a lot of innovation actually happening in tech and in the startup world, because I am part of the startup ecosystem here in Pakistan, and
Mhm.
we see young people come up with new ideas like virtual reality for like science labs in school, or new innovation in prosthetics. So we are going, you know, slowly we will be
Mhm.
there at, you know, awesome platforms, more representations of Pakistan that you'll get to see.
Mhm.
Uh, Now tell me something, educational tech. I mean, what have you got to say about that? Because I know, because you're passionate about it, there's probably
Mhm.
a lot that you've got to say.
Yeah. So recently I got a very nice proposal for cooperation, and that's a London-based company called Illuminate Me, and they are designing a virtual city. Now, not everybody knows about this. Quite many people don't know that there are actually virtual cities. They are web-based or game-based technologies used for them to build them. But actually, you can buy pixels right now in those cities, or you can buy, space to showcase clients or products. And he asked me, well, every city I know about has a school. Shall we design a virtual school there? And shall we do it for poor children in South India, because the owner of the company is from Indian family, and he wants to give something back, and there are, poor children there. So let's help, let's ask 10, 15 children virtually what is their dream school, and let us design a school virtually according to their dream. And let's do it, engaging and fun. And there are maybe games you have connected with your childhood, and I have those games. And I don't mean, video games, but, out in the street, or, and they have also games like that. So we want to gather the 2 or 3 games which they are very familiar with, and we want to replicate them into the virtual environment also in front of the school, so that they can play it. What do you think about that? Would that be appealing for kids?
I think that is so appealing, and that's wonderful because I mean, I've
Mhm.
never played a video game in my life. I've never, even on my phone. I think it's weird for some reason. I'm very old school with a lot of things, so uh,
Okay.
I find it a little different. But like out and about, I grew up playing a lot of board games. And then
Hmm.
again, there's games like Monopoly, and then there's games like Uno and all. But then there's games that are unique to India and Pakistan, Ludo. Like it's mainly in India and Pakistan that we do play that. Um,
Okay.
Out and about, running, hide and seek, uh, different bizarre things. So I feel like
Hmm.
that would be very, very appealing to kids. And the city you're talking about, and how you could purchase pixels, or like, certain parts of the city, that
Hmm.
is as NFTs, right? You could purchase that as NFTs.
Yes, yes.
Mhm. No, I would love to know more about this person that's doing this.
Hmm.
Because there's a very nice video that I saw of
Hmm.
somebody that basically um, purchased the $70 million digital art as an NFT, and
Wow.
it is wow. He
Yeah, it
is
is.
from
Wow.
India. He is from India. That's what,
Okay.
and he wanted to create more places, virtual places. So I'm like, what if he's doing that? So.
Hmm. Yeah, I'm like really looking forward to this, because it's new, innovative, and I love about virtual environments like this that they are unlimited. You have an idea and you can design it, because you're just unlimited. How it looks like, how big it is, what is the content. So yeah, I think we are speaking about the future. So there is the future.
It is, right? I mean, I feel like I mean, as young kids, I was
Mm-hmm.
like, flying cars, teleportation,
Mm-hmm.
different things that are sci-fi. Okay, there's just things that are sci-fi, and then you see, there's laptops, and then there's quantum
Mm-hmm.
computers and all that, and that was like very sci-fi for children. I mean, at least me, born 2007.
Yeah.
And now that I see so many of these things, and yesterday I had an orientation for a year-long quantum computing course.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and I'm like, God, what is the new sci-fi? Do we still have anything that is sci-fi and
Mm-hmm.
cannot be real in real life? Because
Mm-hmm.
I know that there is Slovakia actually, flying car.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
So yeah, because I
Wow.
had a friend from BBC that's going to report that. So
Mm-hmm.
that's how, and it's like, I'm going to Slovakia for a flying car. I'm like, wow.
Mm-hmm. And can you explain to me something, please?
Mhm.
As an adult, I'm really, sometimes I see that teenagers think that everything is okay just when it's put online, or it has added value when it's mhm. Maybe yes. But yeah, sometimes I see that they are not checking the sources, all the time. And I would like young people to understand that everybody can put anything online, and it can be truthful or not, right? um, how do you check your sources or choose information?
I always have trusted sources, but I feel like it depends. Like there's a few ways you could check out. Right
Mhm.
now, I mean, okay, whatever's put online is definitely more legit. I'm just gonna say that if there's a
Yeah.
business like like I have a friend whose dad owns a restaurant. And I'm like, wait, I can't find you guys on Google Maps. She's like, we're not there yet. I'm like, are you guys even there? I highly
Yeah.
doubt it. Because we're so used to it. Okay, I'm just gonna look
Yeah.
you up. Wait, what's your name again? Your website. So because
Yeah.
at this point in time, it's the new usual. We're like, if something's not online, then is it even there? Uh, and when you talk about news reporting, and I feel like especially with something that all teenagers are always interested in, the new tea and the new gossip, celebrity juicy gossip, all that, I feel like there's a lot of false reporting in that. But then there's again
Mhm.
a few ways you could check that out.
Mhm.
When you just like speculations have been made and all that, and
Mhm.
if there's an article and there's to whatever they're saying, they're leaving a link to prove
Mhm.
themselves. That's not it. But
Yeah.
I have stopped reading my celebrity gossip juicy articles uh, nowadays. And as for the different type of tech articles, most of
Mhm.
them are true, because I usually find most of them, like, I have a few friends that upload like articles like 5 times a day, that many
Oh.
articles. And whenever I see them and I check them out, because they have trusted sources, they're like, when I post them, just know it's a trusted source.
Mhm.
That's how I get most of my up to date sort of
Yeah.
time.
But that's really exemplary because I see that you are checking the sources and you are reflecting upon, the quality of the content. So that is something which I think needs to be spread out really. Um,
True.
yeah, yeah,
That is
yeah.
true, because I feel like sometimes what somebody may be writing, they do not realize that at this point in time, you see a lot of articles, or it's just like, okay, you read a few articles, you go through them, you skim through them, you're like, okay, this research was done in 2016, there's probably something new, you have something like a few months ago, and then you
Yeah.
just like it up, like sort of mix it
Mhm.
up with something that and you're done. So what sometimes people don't realize is that there's articles that are off of articles that are off of articles, and that's how basically false news spreads. If you're
Yes.
talking about articles of videos, then it's like if one person made a video, they quote that, another person quotes them, and that just spreads. And
Yeah.
then ultimately, if it is reported by some legitimate source, then it's like, oh yeah, this is so happening, this is so
Mhm.
happening. So I feel like that. And I just want to clear something up, and I've been doing some interviews in the past few days after like a bit of a break, like a whole month break.
Mhm.
And I asked this question to a lot of people, because a lot of people ask me this question, and that is, do teenagers, do they care? Because I'm a teenager. I just turned 14. I'm a 14-year-old girl that cares
Mhm.
about those that are around her. My goal is to empower everybody around me, regardless of their race, their religion, their caste, their creed. Um, but again, I know children. I've got cousins. All they do all day long is play video games and
Yes.
see
Mhm. Mhm.
basketball. And you ask them something, they're like, I don't care.
Mhm.
That's the standard
Mhm.
answer to a lot of questions. I know people like that, but then I know people that are amazing at what they're doing and amazingly making impact on everybody
Mhm.
around them from different generations. So those that are like their grandpa's age, they're making positive impact on them too. I feel like not all children are the same, and to say that teenagers don't care, they do not they're not respected and do not deserve to be included in making solutions and in open dialogues that lead to solutions to our leading problems, that's wrong. I feel that personally. What about your thoughts?
Yeah, it's the same. Just before this meeting, I was just checking myths about teenagers, and there are so many which I have one advantage, that as a teacher, I met many teenagers and I had the opportunity to think about how to communicate with them. But many who are not teenagers, they are perceiving teenagers and generalizing, and that is the basis of a prejudice, to generalize, right? So meeting one teenager who is isolated and doing something, it should be not generalized. So, and just when I studied a PhD and pedagogy and education, I just learned that in that period, in the teenage period, teenagers used to be more straightforward than other people, and it's nothing bad with that. It's just that it's actually positive because they are straightforward, because they are discovering the world around them, right? And adults should not take it in an intimidating way, but like, wow, so you are learning, let me be part of that. So that is something what I have noticed.
Yeah, that too. And I feel like I read something online.
Mhm.
Actually, my best friend sent it over. That's how I get most of my meaningful quotes of the day.
Mhm.
And it is teenagers act like they don't care most of the time because they're treated like kids and expected to act like adults. That's true because
Yeah,
you're young adults, you're not a kid, and you're not an adult. So it's just like there's something in between, and there's a lot of gray area there. And secondly, I think generalization kills. I am
it is.
totally against it, and I know daily life I probably generalize a lot too, and I try to cut it down as much as I can because see, whatever I do now, I feel like makes an impact now that people see me, people want to talk to me because I am a Pakistani, so I am a brown Pakistani Muslim Punjabi girl. So anything that I do would be like, oh, all Punjabis are like that, or oh, all Pakistanis are like that. Because to many people, I'm their representation of Pakistan, or I am their representation of my religion, or my caste, or my race. And this happens honestly. I have a lot of friends from the US, and all of them are different types. So I wouldn't really generalize there, but I have only one friend from Portugal. So however he is, the whole of Portugal is like that to me.
Yes, yes, that's really truthful what you are saying. And from the adult perspective, I have heard it so many times from the adults, exactly what you said. When you will be older, then you will fully understand. If when you will be older, then you will know what I'm doing. And from adults' perspective, I can say that sometimes adults, they are so insecure what they have achieved, they are so unsatisfied with what they have achieved, that they feel intimidated meeting a teenager who has achieved much, right? So they kind of hide it and say, when you will be older. Actually, they are saying, oh my God, she is wiser than me. She achieved more than me. So it's good to know for the teenagers also to be like resilient, not to be rude back, but I mean to understand that to be there are bad adults and there are good adults, right? So, and also with my parents, I don't know how is it with your parents, but I realized very soon that, well, parents are a blessing, and I mean it's amazing to have parents. Not many children have parents, but it's different to be a parent and to be a friend. Like, to be a parent is opportunity to be a friend, uh, but not it's not automatic. And in order to happen that, there needs to be mutual respect, right? So, and I realized that with my students when I was teaching in schools, I could build a much more meaningful relationship with teenagers when I showed respect. Not because I think they are wiser than me. They don't have to be smarter or smart that I respect them. I respect them because they are human beings, right? And actually, my wife asked me, I want to meet Raheen's parents because I want to learn what did they do that she's so ambitious and so skilled in what she's doing.
That's amazing. I would love to have a meeting of like me, my parents, and your wife and you. I mean, I think we should do like a whole thing, like,
Yeah,
full
we
on
could do.
meeting. And
Yeah.
you are so right. Because I mean, again, I have a relationship with my parents that, like, I mean, I feel like they are my best friends because I can share
Yeah.
everything with them. Me and my dad talk hours about movies, and then we're like, no. And then we do a whole thing. Have you watched that? Have you watched that? Have you watched that? Because whenever I'm gone at like my cousin's place, or I'm like, sleeping over at a friend's place, he does a whole Netflix marathon. So he could just, when I come back, he could sit with me and talk to me. And then I'd be like, can you please leave me alone for a second? I am done speaking about this. Or me and my mom, we talk about everything that there is about me.
Well,
I feel like, yes, it is very important to make such relationships, but then also understand that and respect their boundaries. But because again, something I may be able to share with, well, my best friend Zara, something I'm able to share with Zara, I'm not able to share with anybody else. It's just,
yes, yes,
it is confidential,
yes.
right? And especially, I feel like parents, how much ever they can become friends, they will still have that thing that's not right, and then they will judge some things. It is natural, okay? It is totally natural to be there, but I feel like to have that relationship with your children is very important, and you should know that they are the first people you can go to, you can trust, and you can confide in. Because if you cannot get it right in their early time, like from 8 to 12, then the teenagers would be way more difficult to deal with. And then more after that, they'll go to college, they'll settle down, probably get married or something. That's not time. Then that's Thanksgiving to Thanksgiving relationship, and that's probably not what a parent wants.
Yeah,
They're like,
exactly.
call me first thing in the morning relationship.
Yeah. Oh, I understand that. I had many calls like that when I was teenager. Yeah, but this respect is really important. And honestly, being teacher for many years, I realized that sometimes parents think that they know everything about their children. But if they would know everything about their children, they would not send them to school or to doctor, because, oh yeah, they don't know everything. They know, right? But I understand the motivation of a statement like that. They want to know everything, yeah, but they want to be part. They want to be part of the life of their children. I understand that, but especially as teacher, I see that really not many parents have pedagogical approach. They think they are teaching their children something, but as a teacher, I see they don't. So what I thought your thoughts about that?
That's true. And knowing all, I'm not gonna take any names because I'm probably gonna get in trouble. But I have a friend, I have a very, very close friend. And so basically, we were talking and all, and her mom just walks in and she's like, I want to know everything that there is about the girl. Start talking. I'm like, what? Excuse me,
Mhm.
I cannot just go against girl code and then expect her to stay shut in front of my mom. Because how we do is that she comes over, I come over, she comes over, I come over. So we do a whole thing.
Yes.
So I'm like, next time it's not gonna be good for me. Please don't make me do this. She's like, I
Hmm.
want to know everything that there is to know about her because I think I know everything about her. And she says you don't. And I'm like, you know what? If you know everything about her, you're probably not gonna let her stay in this house. You're gonna disown her. there's there's
Well.
stuff to me. I mean, my mom actually does know everything that there is to know about me. Most of the time, she's like, "Oh my god."
Mhm.
And on the other hand, my dad thinks, "Oh my god, I know everything about you," but again, not
Yeah.
everything, correct? And
Yes.
true, I feel like we don't realize there's always statements and things that are passed down from generation to generation.
Mhm.
Were passed down from my, like something my Grammy taught my, dad. If it's passed down to me or my brother, maybe it's not much of relevant in the time anymore. Like, old times people used to say, and I was watching a TikTok yesterday and everybody said that it was a cool joke, like a woman's place is only in the kitchen. I don't agree with that. Well, clearly the kitchen is that way, literally that way. And I'm sitting right here and my mom's trying to make snacks for me to munch on while I'm watching Netflix. So see, that is a whole nother thing. But when you talk about this and then, okay, yes, I will believe it if I was taught that from right the beginning. I would have been like, yeah, that's true. My place is only in the kitchen. But then going on telling that to my friends, it'll be me that's going to be, cornered or be like, you're politically incorrect. Because nowadays, we as teenagers are under constant pressures of even those teenagers that are around us that like we have to be politically correct. We cannot hurt anybody's feelings. However, and even if we do that unintentionally, we're right, like, oh my God, you are racist or you're sexist or you're like this and you're like that. So I feel like you really got to be careful with what you're saying nowadays, even those that are around your friends.
Exactly, and that I think it really hinders any open discussion and conversation. And I mean, honestly, if you say your opinion, you risk you make yourself vulnerable, right? Because that person can disagree with you. But because you say this opinion, your opinion, you're actually awaiting. It might happen that I get some argument against it, but I'm honest about it because I want to have a discussion, open discussion. But that is amazing observation which you have made about the world, that right now, unfortunately, there are camps, right? And if you are part of that camp, then you are okay with us and not with the others. And that is very dangerous. And that's why we need to think. We need to speak about, topics like
True.
Islam, Christianity. We need to have interfaith um, understanding. For example, I was teaching in Sweden, and Sweden is one country which is receiving quite many refugees from
Yeah.
around the world. And what is important for those refugees is their religious identity. Now, you would expect that now the country wants to understand this religious identity so that they can work on integrating them. But actually, in the public schools in Sweden, it's really not welcomed to speak about Bible or religion. And I'm like, is this kind of a theater? In maybe 2050, somebody will ask me, oh, you were in this country, Sweden? Yeah. And they were receiving so many refugees from different countries with different religions, and they wanted to integrate them. Yeah. So they were open to understand their religion? No, actually not. Actually they were trying to ban things. And I was fired. I say I was fired from a kindergarten in Stockholm because I wanted to speak about a play. It was a puzzle play, and reflected me on my Christian tradition. And I know that some of the employees were Muslims, and I spoke with children about it. Well, this reminds me, this is like Jesus, this reminds me, this is God. And the children loved it, but some of the teachers heard it, reported to the headmaster, and they just said, you are not welcome. And that was also one of my defining moments. Like, they didn't even check how I have communicated this. I understand that there are ways, that I'm prescribing it to you. This is like that, and threatening, but I don't think I was doing that. And they have not even checked that, right? And that made me to think, wow, I mean, this country needs more religious literacy,
That's
honestly.
true. And I feel like, and I mean, if you go through my bio, I'm probably going to send you a screenshot or something. That's exactly what I write. And that's how we solve peace, is open dialogues with people from all religions.
Mhm.
and states and generations and professional backgrounds is very important, because if it's just both of us talking, okay, we both are passionate about education, you're a professional,
Mhm.
I dream to be a professional there. But again, if you're talking about that with a doctor of
Mhm.
standardized education, they're like, I'm a doctor, don't talk to me about like that, because I'm a doctor because of it, all that, those things. Um, so it depends on who you're talking and what you're talking about. But I feel like not only religion, but you talk about, topics like peace, and talk about topics like climate change. When you have those open dialogues, um, I would give away my opinion. And there's many people like, what? Excuse me, what? And like that,
Mhm.
that's my opinion. You have something that is against it, speak it up or forever hold your peace. And then we talk
Yes.
more about that. And I think most of the time it's the language, because again, I speak fluent English. I speak a lot of English at home.
Mhm.
But some people may not. Some people have other languages that they speak.
Mhm.
So maybe sometimes it's the language, sometimes it's the way that you're phrasing your problem. Maybe you're actually on the same page, and sometimes you're not, and you've got to
Yes.
respectfully let it go.
Yes. Yes.
And what's your
Yeah.
thought on virtual schools? Which reminds me, I've been looking through a lot of virtual schools lately, because I dropped out of my normal school because of, I wanted to know why I'm studying this and how it's working.
Mhm.
And I just had a lot of questions. And then I realized that that's not the place for me. And I'm going to start my high school, and I'm looking through different schools where I can, go for high school too. So what are your thoughts on virtual schools? I love them.
Yeah, and I think we need to discern between e-learning platforms and e-lessons and virtual schools, because I think that we are doing something. What we are doing with Illuminate Me uh, is different, because the school is designed with the purpose to increase the engagement of children and to reduce school to enhance school readiness. That is kind of an issue in India, although the government is really has done really good things in this way. Um, so I think I don't want virtual school to be a place where you push a button and fill me with the content. Th- this is nothing to do with engagement, right? And I want to take some major components of the world of the children, like for example their plays and their games, which they know, and put them into the in virtual environment, so that they feel at home, and so that they feel that this is designed just for them. And when they do, and maybe they will have a fun, they will play the games, and in the background there will be a school building designed according to how they imagine a dream school should look like. And let's see how we will proceed. I can inform you about that, because we would like to um, explain to children that school can be a good place. And actually, my stance on this is that school should be a mediator of discussions, worldviews. It should never prescribe the religion. It should not prescribe. It should make an option, right? And I think this is what needs to be done in Sweden and in many other countries, that you can actually communicate religion in a way that that teenager or that student uh, has an option, to choose to think like that or not, right? So that is,
Yeah.
yeah, and so that is the future. And
Yeah.
can I ask you something?
Yeah, sure. I love that.
What would you choose as your most important and kind of favorable moment in life during the schooling, during attending a school? Which was the moment you will never forget in your life, positively? It might be, a lesson or a meeting with a student or anything. Like I will keep this in my mind forever.
Oh, okay, there's many moments in school because actually I was one of those people that nobody in class liked. I mean they all said that they loved and all, but nobody liked. Just for one fact was I used to love school. I remember once my mom was like, sorry, you'll have to skip school because I gotta take your brother to the hospital. I'm like, I don't care. I'll wait outside of my school if I have to, wait for you guys to come. I am not missing. I started crying. So
Wow.
yeah, that's the kind of kid I was. No wonder everybody didn't like me. And moreover, for, well, I think 3, 4 years straight, I did not miss more than 2 days of school. And then there was just 1 year, my whole sixth grade was all in all, like full. I did not miss a single day of school because I couldn't. I didn't want to. I had friends at school. I used to love to study. Used to. Correct, making sure that you know that. But my most favorable moment in school was seventh grade. So basically what happened is my principal gave me a call and she's like, we're doing a International Women's Day celebration, like a virtual celebration. Would you want to be part of it? I'm like, yeah, sure. And she's like, we're trying to put up like a campaign where we have videos from professional women around the world. And just trying to, be like, happy Women's Day, the importance to be a woman in like 21st century. And I'm like, sure. I got videos from a lot of people, including an astronaut from NASA.
Yeah, I have watched that.
Wow.
Wow.
I love that.
Yeah.
Yeah, I got those videos and then they were uploaded. And I remember that I had to once, go in, check with them and do some work on the laptop for the campaign. And I was allowed to come with my phone in school. And I'm like, oh my God, I feel like VIP. I can come with my headphones and my phone. And I'm like actually working there. And I, walk in my casual wear. I'm like, all, I didn't wear a power suit because I thought that would be a little too much, honestly. But I had full and I'm like, amazing. So yeah, that was one of the moments. But I think school has taught me a lot in terms of, I once almost got kicked out of school because I started a business in school. So that was interesting.
Okay. That was bold, yeah?
It was bold. I remember sitting in the principal office being like, please don't kick me out of the school.
Yeah.
So no, at that point in time, I was like, what was I thinking? Because I didn't know it was against the rules because other girls were doing it. Just the thing was I was doing it, but I was doing it bigger. And they were more like, here you go, like a slime, and then you pay me for that. I was full on marketing for my slime, walking with bags full of slime. So I was just doing it on a whole nother, level.
I understand that.
I scaled it up. But yeah, there's always moments. And with the push button thing you said, I actually enrolled in a school like that. That was for IGCSE, something like that. That's O levels basically. And I was only doing physics and I couldn't because it was just, I had to watch the videos. And how do you expect a teenager to just watch videos all day long and then give a test and be like, okay. Because, I am a good virtual learner, but I need to be engaged. You need to talk to me in order to even think that I should give you my attention.
Yes.
That's just the thing with me.
Personal. That's interesting. And can I ask you, what kind of study type are you? What would you say? Like, do you like? Actually, you started to say that, but you need engagement. But then, are you writing or highlighting things? Or are you just reading or listening?
Well, I'm not only a listening person, so podcasts do not excite me a lot. I like listening to something that I truly, truly love, but otherwise I would not just do that. I'm more of a visual person. So if they're not in person, I would like to see the teacher. I would like to see them. I would like to see their screen. And I am more into animation because again, that's one way you could engage me. I feel like that a lot. Now I am huge on taking notes. And I rely on my notes all year long, all year long. Highlighting. Okay, so the thing is, I think I do not understand the importance of highlighting a lot because I love history. I have been the history teacher's favorite and a lot of things. Because I thought the whole book was important, I may or may not have highlighted the whole book. So then there's no use of it.
Yeah.
But I understood that I was doing that with different colors. So, maybe code was better. So I had like 4 or 5 different highlighters and I would code highlight them and then ace my history test. And I'd be like, whoa, that's my thing.
I'm the same. I'm also more visual and I love engagement, actually to learn. So that is how I learn. Okay. And where do you see yourself in 5 years?
Well, 5 years, wow. I see myself in a lot of places. I'd be 19 in 5 years. But if a goal that I hope to be accomplishing by then is to make significant impact in intergenerational harmony, like acting as a bridge between different generations and making a significant impact in the role that I hope to play.
Okay, high five. Me too.
Oh. We are actually pretty similar, right?
Yeah, we are. Oh my God. Yeah,
I actually don't get that with many people because the thing is, not many teenagers do I blend in with because they go to school like I'm virtual school, so it's all different. I do not have to wait in class. I can even eat during class. I can watch Netflix during class, which I do not do anymore. So.
Self-discipline.
Yeah, no, self-disciplining is a very hard thing, but when you have a dad that is like a huge disciplinarian, things fall right into place. And there's different things. They are way into celebrity gossip sometimes. It takes me time to catch up. So those sort of thing, but I feel like I really relate to you when I hope that I can come to, you're in Prague right now. So I hope I can visit someday. Any opportunities, give me a call. I need traveling. I would love to travel, but again, there's just so many things, but they're like, the finances, and I'm like looking for like a sponsorship. So fingers crossed things work out.
Yeah, that we have also similar. I love to travel and discover the world. And I don't know how is it with you, but sometimes people can perceive me that I'm all over the place. Like you are doing so many things that we don't have any overview right now, so we are confused. But I love to have conversations, and I love problem solving. So I'm interested in global issues. So there is a global issue, and I want to know who are the key players globally. And I try to speak with them to understand the whole story, right? So everybody has a conversation. Every one of the players has a conversation. I want to be part of it. I want to listen. But some people, they come and like, you are all over the place. No, I'm just listening to the sounds of understanding, and different stakeholders, so to say. And then I can say, yeah, I know you are speaking about this, but they are speaking about that, and they are speaking about that. And if they are humble enough and they want to engage, they say, wow, okay, we should really rethink. And that makes me happy.
It does. I know, right? I get that same comment a lot. That's what, if you ask anybody about me, she's all over the place. Because when I used to be, like when, the COVID wasn't there, I used to go, I would say at least 3 events every day, 3 networking events every day. And again, you at some point in time, you realize, okay, there's these, let's say 8 to 9, people that are there that are in the community. Like, you know, you go to one of them, they'd be there. You go to the second, they'd probably be there. You go to the third, they're definitely there. So you see, there's a whole community that's just into themselves. That sounded wrong.
Yeah.
A whole community that's, you know, like going on. And I was part of that. I mean, I used to go out every single day, go on, talk, network, connect, collaborate. Because I feel like these are now part of my main values, like connect and collaborate, and co-create. So yeah, I am all over the place. And because I'm young, I think people don't mind me being all over the place. And even if like in general, like I was living at my cousin's place for about a month, the recent month. And I was all over the place. Like I am best friends with everybody, with all my cousins. I was best friends with their housekeeper, with the guy, you know, that was there for the chores and everything. So I was good friends with everybody because I believe, like, you know, I'm like, again, I said earlier, I'm a representation of a lot of things. So I like to be nice. And well, I hope that one day I would be, you know, more known for positive impact on people around me. So if anybody asks them about me, I bet they have some good things to say.
Yeah, that's really nice. I mean, I see that you have a communication skill and talent, and you are just developing it. And I admire your parents because they see it and they give you the space and time to do so. They support you. But you know, some parents, they just want their kids to fulfill their dreams in life, which they have not fulfilled, right? And then they pressure, you know, to go a specific educational path or professional path. So it's amazing that they let you be free in that you are unique for them. That's amazing.
Yeah, that's so true. I mean, I do not remember what my dad wanted to be when he was growing up. But you know, I feel like I love my dad and my mom, both of them, for like not really forcing it onto me. Because I see a lot of parents, you need to be a doctor, or you need to be an engineer, you need to be a lawyer, or you know, certain professions, you know. And it is a lot of times because, okay, I couldn't do that because of my family's finances or anything, but you are able to do that because I am supporting you, I am behind you, you will do that. Oh my God, it was so good talking to you. And I feel like I haven't felt this way in, you know, a meeting or an interview in so long. Thank you so much for being on.
My pleasure, really, right?
And yeah, it was wonderful. And I hope we can do more conversations like this. But then again, this is more of like a generalized, you know, talk. And then, you know, from next time onwards, we could be a little more, you know, specific with what we talk about, like specific topics. And then we could just like, you know, really just explore areas around that. Thank you so much for being on today.
I'm open for it. And that was really my pleasure, Raheen.
Thank you so much.